Hey, what's going on, guys? It is James, aka James 101, with another installment of Crayola Corner. And if you took the time to watch the video that preceded this, at least for the first 3 minutes, you'll understand why I'm going to talk through these things and talk them out. I'm using Polya's method here to solve problems. And I'm going to go through each item in the first functions lesson, and I'm going to solve each question. So, first question. Create a function called evenOrOdd that takes a number as its first argument. Console.log even or odd depending on whether the number is even or odd. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at every word in here and make sure that I understand every word. Function, console.log, argument, these things I know. So I can start out by saying I know I need a function and it wants me to call it even or odd. So the best way to prevent syntax errors is to copy that, to paste it. And since it's a function, I'm going to go ahead and lay out my function real quick. Awesome. So I've created a function called even or odd. Now it takes a number as an argument. I know what an argument is. And so I'm going to go ahead and set an argument right here called num and allow it to the user or the test to pass in a number right there. So the second thing that I think about as I come through here, console.log even or odd, depending on whether the number is even or odd. The or right there tells me it's going to be an if statement. Something's either going to be one thing or it's going to be another. So I'm going to set up an if statement. Right there in my condition, the first thing that I'm going to type in is if it's even, I'm going to log, so console.log even. And I'm going ahead and finish my if statement. If it's not one thing, it's another. So else, my standard way to set this guy up is this way, and I'm going to console.log odd. Cool. So let's check this guy out. If something is even, if a number is even, I'm going to return even. If a number is odd, I'm going to return odd. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and remove my condition and try to get it to a point that JavaScript understands what I'm talking about, and without removing the parenthesis, aka the condition. So I know that in my tool belt as a JavaScript, learning JavaScript developer, modulo is a thing. And I know what modulo does is given one number and another number that I pass in, it will turn in the remainder of something. So if I pass in num here, and I pass in modulo, and I pass in 2, and it's the same type as value, and it is the same type and value as 0, then that means it's going to be an even number. So no matter what number is in the num, if I modulo that with 2, and it comes back as 0, that means it's divisible by 2. And any number divisible by 2 is, in fact, an even number. So, perfect. That works that way. All right, else, console.log odd. So the way that I've thought about this is these are the only two ways that I can think about differentiating even and odd in its simplest form. So I'm going to save this guy, and I'm going to, real quick, test my function. So I'm going to go back, I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to pass in a number 2. So what I expect to return here is 2 is an even number. And if I run this function, then what I expect to happen is going to console.log even. So let's check this guy out. So let's node, and I am in, even, actually, there it is, evenOrOdd.js, and I'm going to run the program. Cool. It comes back even. Let's check this guy out again. So I'm going to remove this test case. And I'm going to do even, so copy and paste is your friend here. Let's do 3. What I expect to return is if I put 3 into the num spot as an argument, so I'm passing it here as a parameter, but if I put it in the argument of that function and I modulate it by 2, 2 goes in there one time, the remainder from that is 1. That's what I expect to happen. So if I run this guy, oh, let me save it real quick. Let's run that guy again. Whew, that was scary. Make sure you save things. It comes back as odd. Now, a good test case here is to do this multiple times with multiple different numbers, but I feel fairly certain that I understand the concept of modulo as well as what's being passed in. So at this point in time, this is a good solve for this. So this is the answer to the first question, which is create a function called even or odd, takes a number and returns even or odd, depending on whether the number is even or odd.